Our third race for Division 2 here at Snetterton. It's Trevor Martin who'll start on pole position with Jim Bennett, the local man, alongside. Craig Reed on row 2 with John Bowler. Row 3, Steve Powell and Brad Smith. Then Luke Garrett and Adam Bin. Simon Cole and Eric Forstrom both withdrawn from the meeting. Problems for them, engine problems. And then Paul McCumpsky and John Powell means that we've got 10 trucks. We should be able to combine these with the Division 1 trucks for the fourth and final race, but we've got this third race to get underway. On board again with Brad Smith. Away we go. It's a good start, and it's Trevor Martin who leads them away. Steve Powell shows his nose down the inside line in yellow, but it's Craig Reed in second position. Round the outside goes Jim Bennett in third place at the moment. On board with Brad Smith. Good battle for second place, and John Bowler hard on the brakes. They get very close indeed going into the hairpin. Jim Bennett did well though. He's on the outside line. Bennett used some momentum around the outside in the green and white truck to hold on to third place. So Brad Smith busy chasing. Brad in fifth position at the moment. John Bowler immediately ahead of him. Trevor Martin's made a very good start. Steve Powell again showing off line. He's not afraid to use different lines, Steve Powell, as we saw off the start. This is Agostini. Martin getting pretty defensive. Craig Reed looks around a slightly wider line, trying to get momentum, but Martin covers the exit well. Down towards the left-hander at Hamilton, which you can see much better from the previous shot. When you're looking from Agostini, you can see it hook round, but it looks far more subtle here for the outfield shot. Huge crowd in the background there, watching our racing once again. Absolute festival of trucks here at Snetterton for the Norfolk spectators to enjoy, and many travelling spectators too. We've got loads of people coming in today and enjoying some great racing from the Division 1 and the Division 2 trucks. Craig Reed going wide, followed by Jim Bennett coming out in sympathy, and Jim losing momentum. Loses a couple of places. Luke Garrett, look at Luke Garrett nipping through on the inside line there. Garrett started towards the back and he's already chasing the front group. Garrett in the silver and green 42. He's on the outside line here of John Bowler, and I think he's going to nip through. If he can hold the outside for Brundle, we'll have the inside for Nelson. Has he gone through? Yes, he has. Just at the front of this group. So Luke Garrett's up into third place already. What a first lap from the championship leader. Race 1 today won by Brad Smith. Garrett won race 2, so he's looking to make it 2 on the bounce. There he is, third position for Luke Garrett. John Bowler in fourth, then Jim Bennett, followed by Brad Smith, and the number 6 truck there of John Powell. Good to see John back in action. Steve Powell struggling a little bit there coming out of Murray's. Paul McCumpsky immediately behind. Paddy Mack's not had the best of meetings, but good to see him out on track in this one. Trevor Martin still out front. He's doing a very good job here. Trevor leads for lap 1. And then it is Craig Reed in the 68. So 3 trucks for the lead. And Trev hugging that inside line, defending well here from Craig Reed, who's also got Luke Garrett round the outside. Garrett fires right round the outside line. It was a retirement for him in race number 1. But he bounced back from that in race 2. He couldn't quite do the outside line there, but that was determination from Luke Garrett. He's going to have to try somewhere else again. I suspect that the traditional, the best passing place here is into Agostini. They're going through the left-hander at Palmer, then downhill into Agostini. This is the corner that they're coming up to, where you tend to get the overtakes. And Luke's looking down the inside line here of Craig Reed. Very efficient on the brakes is Luke, but not efficient enough to have a look. Now goes for the outside sweep, so he's going to go for momentum out of the corner, carry the speed through the corner. A little bit of back end tail happiness there from the 68, but still maintains second place. Trevor Martin holding an impressive lead here. Trevor's second meeting of the season, and back to 7th position in race 1, but coming under pressure. Here is Brad Smith still on the back end of Jim Bennett. This is Bennett's home track. Snetterton relatively new to truck racing, as we've said many times before. But this meeting gathering pace, as indeed is Luke Garrett down the back straight. Sales pass, got a good exit out of Williams, used that to good effect. So along the Bentley straight, he's going to clear Craig Reed now and goes into second place. Trevor Martin still there in the lead. No, he isn't. Luke Garrett's cleared both of them on the way into Brundle. Garrett has got the lead from third place, starting the lap. Now Trevor Martin is defending for second. He'll need to try and get across and defend that third position. It's very fraught. He manages to get it across in front of John Bowler and hangs on to third place. So Bowler in fourth, but Luke Garrett is the new lead. Look at this shot. I love this shot here at Corham with the trees in the background, the trucks getting a lean on. You can see the drivers at work. It's a wonderful sight. John Bowler in fourth, and this is why the reverse grid racing works so well. John Powell immediately ahead of Brad Smith at the moment, but everybody loves this reverse grid format where the previous race result is reversed, and if you won it you start at the back, if you were last you start at the front. It gives people a sporting chance, and let's be fair, there are trucks with lesser performance in the mix, older trucks as well, so they get a chance to start. And look at the viewing gantry there, the viewing bank. You can see this outfield part of the circuit as well as the infield. It is a really good view. The reverse format's absolutely spot on, and we're seeing overtaking. You're seeing the drivers have to fight for it. Jim Bennett's doing that at the moment, defends, but John Powell's going to go through on the inside line. Powell is third in the championship. We're back with Brad Smith though, and that's Steve Powell, John's brother, looking to close the points difference between himself and his brother here this weekend. So it's Garrett out front, just out of shot, then Simon Reed, Trevor Martin third, John Bowler fourth, John Powell fifth, then Jim Bennett. Steve Powell's going to have a look down the inside line in his MAN. He's hard on the brakes. Is he going to be able to get past Jim Bennett, who locks up, goes sideways? He's coming back on. He got the wheel straight in line. There was a danger there. Who's going to cut across Steve Powell? He's still going sideways. And Steve Powell here is probably going to have more momentum, certainly more confidence in his truck, but Jim Bennett is hanging on to it, and I think Steve Powell thought there, he'll wait until Jim's got all the wheels in line, because that did look a little bit wayward. Jim did get it all back in line, but there was always the danger if Steve was going to go for the move there that he might have got clouted, but I think he's read that well. But it looks like can't say he's being held up, because that's the wrong thing. Bennett again goes on the grass. Second time we've seen him do that. That will scrub off speed, and it will allow Steve Powell the chance to go past, which he grabs metaphorically with both hands, goes through, and Jim Bennett I think is going to be passed again, maybe. No, he isn't, as they come down into the complex once again, and Brad Smith having a look. There's a little bit of a gap there, so Brad's got to keep it tight on the exit of Nelson. He tries to keep it tight, but that means he doesn't get a particular amount of momentum. Paul McCumsky is in behind, Paddy's second meeting of the year, grabbed a 9th place in a solitary finish at Donington Park, did Paddy, which was a pity for the normally front-running Paul McCumsky. It is great to see him back, and the field this year, we've had Steve Powell's had 5 wins, John Powell's had 1, Brad Smith's had a win. We mentioned in the earlier race that Luke Garrett's had 15 this year, but the amount of drivers we've had the Eastons with us, of course, at Donington Park. It's good to see them, and Andrew Fulton, Tim Woolley has been racing with us as well, Andy Lovetree, loads and loads of drivers in Division 2, and very big field, and some great racing has been put on. That's Trevor Martin. Look at Trevor Martin here. He's still in third place. He's driving superbly here, Trev. The Scania up ahead of John Bowler in the Foden. The race leader is still Luke Garrett. No question mark hanging over that at all. Craig Reed in the Iveco Stralis is in second, and Trevor Martin in third. No question Trevor's having to get defensive, and he's almost got a little bit of a gap here over John Bowler in 4th position. So Trevor Martin looking in his second meeting of the year for his first podium of the season. We have seen him in our programme on the podium before, so he's no stranger to the podium, but this is a terrific drive by Martin so far, and John Powell is going to start to occupy John Bowler. Powell in the 6th truck, closing in on John Bowler. not close enough to make a move at the moment, but John will look in his mirrors. He's got his brother Steve there as well. So at the moment in the championship, it's Luke Garrett who leads on 3.46 on my maths. Brad Smith 3.02, John Powell 2.51, Steve Powell 2.39, 2.36 is John Bowler. So Powell has progressed well. John Bowler, if he finishes ahead of Steve Powell, might claw that position back. Here comes Craig Reed through. Watch for Trevor Martin, still there in third place. He's got a gap now, Trevor Martin. He's actually pulling away because the truck's behind him. It's a three-way scrap for fourth place, headed at the moment by John Bowler, from John Powell and then Steve Powell. So they've got to sort themselves out before they can have a nibble away at Trevor Martin, who is just up front of them. Trevor, the man from Westbury in the E.G. Martin entered truck, goes into Coram and looking pretty good here for a potential podium. We're about two-thirds, just under the way through this race, and the Powell brothers really getting stuck in. Steve would love to beat his brother on track and pull some more points on him, and John Powell's had a very good year so far. Just the one win, that was at Brands Hatch in race 4 of the 5 that kicked the season off. And Steve going to the outside line. Adam Bint down there in pit lane, I think. Is Adam Binty coming back out onto track? I think he is. He's lost a bit of time, but Trevor Martin in third still there. And where Steve Powell was dicing, you can see he's... Oh, did he get a little knock onto the back of his brother there? That was very close if it wasn't a tap, and he goes to the outside line again, so John will know he's there. Hard on the brakes going into Wilson, and then Steve maybe not wide enough to carry momentum out of the hairpin, because ahead of him his brother is busy engaging in that scrap for fourth place. Garrett's still there though, after a good pair of opening laps to come through from the back of the grid. Remember, Garrett started on row 4, having won the previous race. Behind him were Adam Bint, John Powell and Paddy Mack, with Simon Cole and Eric Forstrom, as we mentioned, not starting due to engine problems. A big shame for both of those men, but we will see them back, I'm sure, later on in the season. And Steve Powell now on the outside, has the momentum, manages to clear his brother, and has got a clear view here of John Bowler. So challenging for fourth place, Powell. There is Paddy Mack up ahead of Jim Bennett. Those two having a good old scrap as well. That is for 8th position. Adam Bint is ahead of them, but Adam lost a lap in the pits in the Volvo White Aerodyne. So let's see whether Steve Powell can make it up into 4th place. His brother John there is... Oh, a little mistake there from John Bowler. Goes much wider and ragged on the exit of Williams. And you can see how much momentum he's lost, and Steve Powell looks one way, then decides on the inside line because there's a space there. It's also the line that he wants into Brundle. Luke Garrett still out front. We rejoin the fight for 4th place. Steve Powell's got it covered. John Powell's going to follow through. So John Bowler, that one mistake coming out of Williams, kicked up the gravel, got it a little bit sideways, and that lost him momentum. And he's down now, John Bowler, into 6th position. Steve Powell and John Powell having passed him into Coram to go. Bowler will try and fight back, but for Steve Powell it's all now whether he can catch Trevor Martin. And fair play to Trevor here. He didn't initially, well initially he did look as if he was being caught by John Bowler, but he pulled away from that group. Now the group has changed, to use the metaphor, and dare I say cliche, it might be that the cork is out of the bottle. Here we come across the line. We've got the mechanical warning flag going out. Again, not sure who that is to at the moment, but Steve Powell's got 3 miles effectively to see whether he can close down on Trevor Martin. It's going to be a tall order for him. Paddy Mack comes in. Wonder if that was the black and orange. So Paul McCumpsky comes into pit lane. There is Adam Bint out on track at the moment. Binty running in 10th place, so at the moment Paddy is ahead of him on the lap. Binty's still entertaining the crowds here, trying to close down on Brad Smith, who's up ahead of him. But remember, Binty, as we said, did drop laps early on. Here is the 42 though. Luke Garrett looking for win number 17 of the season. One shy of Ryan Smith in Division 1. But will extend the championship lead here. If things stay the way they are, Garrett will go on to 361 points, Brad Smith on to 311. So a 50-point gap. And Steve Powell is closing. John Powell as well, closing on Trevor Martin. I wonder if Trevor has had a wee bit of a problem or a lock-up or something like that, but he's being caught by both the Powell brothers at the moment. Binty still entertaining in the CMG. Power slide from him. Meanwhile, exiting the infield complex is Luke Garrett from Craig Reed in second. Craig has not really been dropped in this one. He's only second and a half, 2 seconds behind at the moment, but it is going to be a second place for Craig Reed. He's having a long wait for his second win of the season, having won his second ever truck race, which was at Pembrey. But Luke Garrett looking smart here, fastest lap of the race as well, half distance back on lap 3. 2 minute 33.465 for Garrett, who is going to comfortably take this one. But we've got a battle on for third place now. Trevor Martin under pressure here from Steve Powell, and Powell has got momentum here. He's going to look to the inside line. There's half a gap. Sweeps back to the outside line as they head down into Coram. Powell is putting Martin under pressure in front of that big bank of cars. We go back with the race leader, and it's Luke Garrett that's going to take the win. He exits Murray's corner now. He'll go past the pit lane entrance. He won't want to go into the pits. He wants the win, and rightly so. Garrett will pick up another win this year along centre straight down towards the checkered flag. He goes. There's the checker. Luke Garrett takes the win. Craig Reed is in second there, and the battle for third is a sprint to the line. Watch for Steve Powell, watch for Trevor Martin, and Powell goes through. Trevor Martin denied a podium on the last lap, but claims fourth place ahead of John Powell. That was a great drive by Trevor Martin, a great drive too from Steve Powell to come through and pass him. Superb truck racing as ever here at Snetterton. Garrett Reed, Steve Powell, Trevor Martin, John Powell next up from John Bowler, Brad Smith, Jim Bennett, Paul McCumsky and Adam Bint in 10.
Luke, congratulations, another win and very quickly into the lead there.
Yeah, like I say, you've got to try and get as far up as you can to start off with on the start, but yeah, it just seemed to come together for me on the first lap, so I was quite lucky in that respect. But yeah, it still wasn't that easy to get past some of them, but yeah, it was a good race.
Once you're in front, how often do you look in your mirrors?
You're always looking in your mirrors, to be honest. You get to a certain point and you just sort of keep your pace nice and steady, if you know what I mean. And obviously I could see that Craig was there. He caught me up a little bit, and I could obviously extend the gap again. So yeah, you're always looking in the mirrors regardless of where you are.
So with the faster of the two Reed brothers, congratulations on that second place.
Yeah, thank you. Oh yeah. Hope so one day. But yeah, no, that was good. I've struggled yesterday to get used to the track, but that was, to be fair, following Luke out me no end, and then I started to gap him then. But no, it was really good. He kept me biting anyway. But no, brilliant.